Welcome back to Grammar Grade 7. This is Unit 12, Lesson 71, and today we're picking up a brand new punctuation tool, quotation marks. Whenever you write down the exact words a person says, quotation marks are how you show your reader these are someone's real words. We'll learn when to use them, when to leave them off, where the other little marks go, and how to lay out a conversation on the page. Let's take a look. Before we dig in, here's the big picture. Quotation marks are a pair of little hooks that fence off the exact words a person says. They have a few clear jobs. First, they wrap a direct quotation, someone's exact words, set down just as they were spoken. Second, they stay away from an indirect report, the kind that reworks the words and slips in the word that. Third, in a longer conversation, you start a new paragraph every time the speaker changes. Think of the marks as showing your reader where a voice starts and where it stops. Let's take these one at a time. Let's start with the main job, the direct quotation. A direct quotation gives someone's exact words, the very words that came out of their mouth, and you wrap those words in quotation marks. Here's a simple one. She said, "I'm almost done." See those curved marks? The opening mark sits right before the first spoken word, and the closing mark comes right after the last one. So the quotation marks wrap the exact spoken words and nothing else. Everything the speaker actually said lives inside that little fence. Now here's the trap that catches a lot of writers. Quotation marks are only for a direct quotation. If you reword what someone said, instead of quoting it exactly, you have an indirect quotation, and it gets no quotation marks at all. Watch the difference. Direct. She said, "I'm almost done." Her exact words, wrapped in quotation marks. Indirect. She said that she was almost done. Notice that little word, that. It's the tip-off that you're reporting the idea in your own words, not quoting them. So there are no quotes here. Whenever you spot that sliding in, check whether the marks really belong. Here's a rule that's easy to remember. Capitalize the first word inside the quotation. When the words you're quoting form a full sentence, that sentence starts with a capital letter, exactly like any sentence does. Look at this. He shouted, "Watch out!" Even though shouted comes first, the word watch wears a capital W because it opens the quoted sentence. So a quoted sentence begins with a capital, just like any sentence you write on its own. Now, where do the small marks go, the commas and the periods? This one has a clear answer. A comma or a period always goes inside the closing quotation mark. Let's watch it. She said, "I'm almost done." Where does that period land? Right after the word done, and then, crucially, before the closing quote. The period goes inside, and only then do the quotation marks close. Writers often want to flip those two, but the period always comes first, and the closing quote comes last. Question marks and exclamation points are a little trickier because they can belong to two different owners. Here's the test. Does the quote itself ask the question, or does the whole sentence? Case 1. "Are you ready?" she asked. The quoted words are the question, so the question mark goes inside the quotation marks, tucked right against ready. Case 2. Did she say, "I did it"? This time the quotation is just a plain statement, but the whole sentence around it is the question, so the question mark goes outside the closing quote. Same little mark, two different homes, decided by who is actually asking. Finally, let's talk about dialogue, which is simply a conversation written down. Here's the golden rule. Every time the speaker changes, you start a new paragraph. That fresh, indented line tells your reader someone new is talking now. Picture two friends. "Are you almost done?" asked Mia. Then Sam answers on his own new line. "Just about," Sam replied. Because the speaker changed, each reply gets its own paragraph. That simple break keeps a back and forth conversation easy to follow, so no one loses track of who said what. Let's fold all of this into a quick check you can run whenever you write. 1. Are these someone's exact words? If so, wrap them in quotation marks. 2. Did you reword it with the word that? Then use no quotation marks because it's indirect. 3. Where do your commas and periods go? Inside the closing quote, every time. And 4. Did the speaker change? Start a new paragraph. Quote it exactly, punctuate it inside, and break for each new voice. Ready to practice a few together? Time to practice. In this first set, we'll sort out direct quotations from indirect ones and check where the little marks belong. Pause the video and decide before I reveal each answer. Maria said that the bus was late. Are these Maria's exact words or a reworded report? The little word that gives it away. Maria's actual words have been reworked into the sentence, so this is an indirect quotation, and it takes no quotation marks. So the answer is indirect quotation. Maria said, "The bus is late." This time, the exact words sit right inside quotation marks, quoted word for word with no that in sight. That makes it a direct quotation. So the answer is direct quotation. Choose the correctly punctuated sentence. The trick is the comma. Remember, a comma always tucks inside the closing quotation mark, never outside it. The first option puts the comma inside the quotes, right where it belongs. So the answer is the first option. Nicely done. In this second set, we'll look at capitalizing a quote, placing a question mark, and laying out dialogue. Read each choice carefully and pick the best one. Pause and choose before I answer. He asked, blank, "You ready?" The words inside the quotes form a full sentence, and a quoted sentence starts with a capital letter. So the missing word should be are with a capital A. So the answer is are. Did he say, "I finished"? Here, the quoted part, "I finished," is just a statement. It's the whole sentence that's doing the asking. When the sentence asks the question mark goes outside the closing quote. So the answer is the second option. In dialogue, when do you start a new paragraph? The rule is simple and steady. You begin a fresh paragraph every time the speaker changes. That break shows your reader that a new voice is talking. So the answer is every time the speaker changes. Let's gather up what we learned. Put quotation marks around a direct quotation, someone's exact words, but leave them off an indirect report, the reworded kind that uses the word that. Capitalize the first word of a quoted sentence, and keep your commas and periods inside the closing quotation mark. When a question mark belongs to the quote, it goes inside, and when it belongs to the whole sentence, it goes outside. And in dialogue, start a new paragraph every time the speaker changes, so each voice is easy to follow. Wonderful work today. In our next lesson, we'll keep building your punctuation skills. I'll see you there.